Welcome to Startup Confidential, what industry insiders will never tell you that you need to know if you're building a consumer brand. With your host, best-selling author of Ramping Your Brand, Dr. James Richardson. Let's do this.
Welcome to episode 143, Broaden Your Positioning to Accelerate. Poppy and Dr. Squatch. How did Dr. Squatch Soap teach us the value of switching your audience to unlock early stage growth? And why, oh why, is this so hard for founders to replicate? The first barrier to following the Squatch example is the inability to value your end consumer inside your organization. Most CPG founders focus entirely on B2B sales and think this is normal or expected or all that I can do. One advantage that D2C companies like Dr. Squatch have is that they cannot afford to ignore the end consumer. Website traffic is everything to these consumer brands. And gratefulness to fans comes naturally to D2C businesses, as it does to any retailer. Most CPG founders have another barrier to following the Squatch example. They do not have the working capital or professional network needed to bring in-house the kind of social media talent, even 1 to 2 full-time people, required to replicate a highly creative, high-response brand awareness campaign. And until they work with external advisors expert in marketing dynamics, they often do not even understand the concept of a competitive positioning and the target audience a solid positioning requires. Both concepts are critical to what Squatch executed in 2019 to accelerate their business. Competitive positioning statements generally focus on near-in category competition, soap bars. Mature consumer brands often fall into this myopic positioning trap. The problem is the audience assumption this kind of positioning makes. It eliminates the folks who do not even consider your category, or a new segment of the category, like cold processed soap bars. And it eliminates the folks who don't consider your category on a specific usage occasion, like shower cleaning. When you're selling something truly new to the broader market, way beyond health food stores, this is a horrible mistake because your emerging categories segment may only reach 2 to 3% of households right now. So you're focusing on them, just them, to capture share, to scale. You basically have to get them all. The key is to shake the audience portion of your positioning up to include a large excluded group who are unaware of your genius. This allows your communication strategy to focus on a larger unreached audience by using super broad emotional outcomes that audience will react to in storytelling media. Hint, the emotional outcome of great storytelling media sits right on top of any functional design outcomes you offer, which I talk about in my book. Emotion is the final causal effect of using a consumer product. Story-driven emotion accelerates innovative brands really well, but you can't get stuck talking to current category-aware consumers. That's what everyone else is doing. So let's look at how Squatch pulled this off and got unstuck. Dr. Squatch's competitive positioning involved a product design that combined exfoliating grit with uniquely masculine natural scent combinations. The product attribute. At the time of its acceleration online in 2019, most natural cold processed soap had no grit and offered feminine scents. And the innovation was trapped in low foot traffic retailers, including unknown D2C websites. But trying to sell a manly clean to people who already care about natural bar soap, mostly women, is too narrow a positioning for scaling a brand to 500 mil, even at $6.99 a bar. Crazy. Dr. Squatch's winning communication strategy broadened the audience and focused not on immediate soap function, but on male insecurity around proper grooming in a more feminized modern world. Is my soap shit? And what does that say about me? This message, with all its humor, and we've all seen it at this point, unless you've been living in a cave, reached multiple male audiences that large brands do not communicate with. Middle school and teenage boys, really important, as well as blue-collar men who do get really dirty and also want modern, manly scents. They're tired of the bar that their wife gets them. The original cold-pressed soap segment had no male audience at all, really. So adding grit and manly scents drove growth, but not exponential or even hyperbolic growth on its own because the audience it was reaching was too small. The right people for the innovation did not even know about the cold-processed soap segment. Oops. The solution is not to redesign the product or lower the price. The solution was a wild communication strategy that seemed absurd at first, until it wasn't. And it unlocked tens of millions of younger male consumers for an innovation that had only reached a tiny niche of chemical-averse women beforehand. Poppy was in the title of this episode, I know, so here's the tie-in. Poppy did a very similar thing under the leadership of Rohan Oza, former marketing genius behind Vitamin Water. The brand Poppy started with a very crunchy apple cider vinegar positioning and the brand name Mother. This is how the Ellsworth couple appeared on Shark Tank, holding up their Mother bottles. Rohan knows what he's doing. I suspect he also knew that anxiety over vitamin intake was not the driver of demand for vitamin water. And so geeky gut health ingredient searches were not going to be the path to rapid acceleration for Poppy. Vitamin water was honestly about healthier fun with the vitamins and lower sugar volume as the light proof points. Poppy accomplished a very similar broadening of its millennial Gen Z audience. Broadening your audience requires that you truly admit how bloody narrow it is right now. The way I explain this to stubborn clients is as follows. You've lost 90% of category consumers with your premium pricing. Okay, now you have 10% of them left. In order to scale, you're now going to have to find 10 to 20% of them who will, A, magically become aware of you, and B, believe your modern offering matters to them, i.e. your key attribute outcome signal, when they're consuming the category. You would have to have Neuralink inside their brains already to reach a tiny group like this in its entirety to drive scale. What you need, folks, is not niche upon niche upon niche upon niche. What you need is a much broader audience at the beginning of your effort, because you will lose tons of people along the journey from awareness to happy repeat consumer. A lot of them. That's all I've got this time, folks. And remember, be safe out there.
Thanks for listening. Remember, Dr. Richardson has loads of resources for founders at premiumgrowthsolutions.com. And when you're on his site, don't forget to take his founders quiz and see if you're ready to ride the skate ramp of exponential growth.